Hey everyone, Draco Prime 220 here, and I want to just bring up something. It's related to King Kong and Godzilla. I've seen how a lot of Godzilla fans are tired of King Kong. They want to see a Godzilla 3. They don't want these team-up films happening after Supernova. They think Monarch Legacy of Monsters Season 2 is getting too much Kong. Godzilla's not getting enough. I'm going to just say this. I don't mind. I am a fan of both Godzilla, first and foremost, and of King Kong. I grew up with both. I have deep respect for them, but I also have a personal connection with these two movie monsters. When I was younger, my mom put on TNT and she yelled, "Vinny, come on out, I want to show you something." And my first ever Godzilla movie I saw was on TNT, which I really miss, by the way. I miss those monster movie nights they would have, and it was Godzilla vs. Mothra, or in Japan, it's called Mothra vs. Godzilla, where Mothra gets top billing, and Godzilla is, he's the antagonist, he's the villain. Oh, by the way, happy 65th anniversary to the Queen of the Monsters. Long live the Queen. May she live and prosper. Now, when I first saw Godzilla in that movie, I immediately fell in love with the character. Whenever the commercials would come on, I would get a little upset, like, "Where's the movie, Mom? Where's the movie?" She'd give it a couple minutes, Vinny, and it would come on. And when the movie ended, I was like, that's it? And I wanted more. I was like the crocodile from Peter Pan. Once I got a taste of something, I didn't want it to stop. I wanted more. I then started getting VHS tapes. Back then, when we still had VCRs. I would go to the Steamtown Mall. If anyone knows the Steamtown Mall, I would go to Suncoast Video with my mom, my Nana, and me. And I would almost every time come out of there with a Godzilla movie. Sometimes a dinosaur flick. But mostly Godzilla. Even Ames would have Godzilla films on VHS. Yeah, so I grew to love Godzilla, but as I got older and learned of where he came from and how he was brought up, how he was created, the creation behind the character, I grew a lot of respect for it. And I like what he stood for. Nature's wrath, combating against humanity's hubris, where nature is going to only take so much, and then it's like, okay, you want to throw hands with me? Let's do it. And he was also very tragic. I felt so sorry for Godzilla, knowing he was the last, and it was all just him. And honestly, when I was younger, I would be very angry quite a bit. And and whenever I watched Godzilla, and I looked into his eyes in the movies, I saw a lot of anger, loneliness, bitterness. I could relate to the character, because there were days where I was at school, I was getting bullied or being made fun of, and I was just angry. And I always felt like Godzilla at some point. Like, I felt angry. I felt just lonely. And I didn't know how else to deal with my anger. I could tell you I had to clean up my room more times than I care to count when I was younger. But also his inspiration came from two movies. One, the 1933 King Kong, and the other film, one of many Ray Harryhausen's classics, The Beast from 20,000 Phantoms, where a fictional dinosaur called the Redosaurus is awoken by an atomic bomb which thaws him out of an iceberg. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. And I'm not trying to start anything with anyone. I truly am not. Okay? I get it. You want more Godzilla. I do too. I would love a Godzilla solo film. But what led me to respect King Kong almost as much as Godzilla You could sympathize with Kong because he's more, human in the face. He's more of a humanoid more than Godzilla. Godzilla's a reptile or a dinosaur, a radiated dinosaur. It was Christmas. My Nana got me the original 1933 King Kong on VHS. That night, after supper, we got popcorn, we got soda, had a nice movie night with me, Mom, and Nana, and we watched King Kong 1933. When I saw King Kong that first time, when he's like appearing out of the trees and he pushes the trees, like, holy cow. I was in awe of this giant ape. I never knew you could make a gorilla scary or an ape scary. I'll be honest and straightforward, I grew to love the character. I thought the fight with him and the T-Rex was badass. But then I really felt sorry for him when he got captured and chained up. I was getting very upset, and I'm like, and when I was young, keep in mind I was young, I did not know how the movie was going to end. And I'm thinking, aren't they going to return him home? My Nana and Mom had this look like, oh, he's not going to like how it ends. Well, the climax came where he climbs up the Empire State Building and he gets shot down. I'll be honest, I cried. And when the movie ended, I looked at my Mom and Nana and I said, why did they kill him? Why couldn't they just send him back home? Mom said to me, Vinny, sweetie, people do bad things and don't realize what they've done until it's all over. Then Nana said, I actually started to cry again, and Nana went, my Bublitsky, Vincenti, people do bad things for money. That is why they are called greedy people. And I went, and I got really mad, and I yelled, I hate Carl Denham. My Nana was against saying the word hate. And she said, Vincenti, do not say the word hate. And I said, sorry, Nana. I mean, I don't like Carl Denham. She's like, I know. And I grew to love King Kong and Godzilla. When I got the VHS of King Kong versus Godzilla, that was like one of my favorite movies. I would watch it so many times until the tape just crashed. Like, you couldn't watch it, wore down, you couldn't watch it no more. Then I saw the 1976 King Kong, which I didn't mind it. I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. The one thing I was like, where are the dinosaurs? Where's the T-Rex? Where's the dinosaurs? But I get they were doing, as I got older, also, once again, I saw more of it, and I'm like, okay, they were going a little bit more realistic. What he does fight is a giant snake, which was kind of cool. I like to think that snake was a titanoboa. Just saying. Just throwing that out there. And then I saw the 2005 King Kong in theaters. My first ever King Kong movie I saw in theaters. I loved it. Peter Jackson had a good vision. I saw King Kong was done wonderfully by Andy Serkis, who also, as we all know, plays Golem. And he brought so much character to Kong, where there was points where we laughed, we were scared of him, and then also in the end we felt sorry for him. Now, I'm not trying to start anything. Once again, I am trying to do this with the utmost respect. Also, I'm going to make a shout out to a fellow YouTuber who likes King Kong and Godzilla. His name is D-Man1954, who is a big defender of MonsterVerse King Kong. And I'm with him. I like King Kong. I have ever since I was born, ever since I first saw him, and I'll agree. I've even said this to him, like, Kong and Godzilla, I am a Godzilla fan first and foremost, but King Kong, and Godzilla, are both worthy kings. They have both made their mark on cinema history, and they both deserve respect. Now, I agree with him, so shout out to D-Man1954, and if you're not subscribed to him, take a look, check his videos out. They're pretty good. he has pretty good videos, so go and check him out and see what you think. Now, I'm going to say this, and once again, I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. I am not trying to be disrespectful in any way. Like I said, I am a Godzilla fan, but I'm also a fan of Kong. If it wasn't for the Beast of 20,000 from 20,000 Phantoms or King Kong, do you really think, even if we still got Godzilla, do you think he'd still be as popular as he is today? Do you really think that? Like, I'm sorry, like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful here, but people need to realize that if it wasn't for Kong and the Rhedosaurus, Kong mostly, do you really think we would have Godzilla as popular as he is today? In a way, whether you want to hear this or not, I'm sorry. Godzilla owes who he is today to King Kong. That's why I don't mind seeing them team up, or Kong getting some more focus in a show or a movie, because Godzilla owes it to him. Kong is what made Godzilla who he was today, was one of the many inspirations. And I don't get all the Kong hate. I don't understand it. Sometimes I do think it goes a bit too far. I don't think it's right that you're lashing out at Kong when he was one of the many inspirations for Godzilla. Look, I don't mind the team-up films. I'll be honest. I never thought in my 33 years of life that I would see Godzilla and Kong team up in a movie. My personal opinion, after Godzilla vs. Kong, I thought they were going to go their separate ways. You know, you don't bother me, I don't bother you, we're all good. And, I thought that was it. I thought, that was going to be it for them. They weren't, going to really see each other. Nope. My thoughts were completely shattered, and I couldn't be more happier. When I saw the new Empire trailer, and then at the end you see Godzilla and Kong charging together, I'm like, I had the biggest smile on my face. I had the stupidest grin you could imagine. And seeing Godzilla and Kong team up was something I never thought we were going to see. In my 33 years of life, I never knew I would ever see Godzilla, Mothra, and King Kong all together in one shot on the big screen. I never thought I would see that. And it made me so happy to know how far King Kong and Godzilla have come since their beginnings in 1933 and in 1954. They have come such a long way. And that's why I don't understand the resentment to Kong. Now, okay, if we get a Godzilla 3, if after Supernova, because at some point they're going to have to give Kong a break. They're going to at some point have to give him a break. I'd say after Supernova, give Kong a break, have him show up in another solo film later on, and then in Destroy All Monsters. And, if you want a substitute for King Kong, I got one for you, Legendary. If you ever see this video, if Toho ever sees this video, which I doubt it, but weirder things have been known to happen, bring in Jet Jaguar. Have him be the substitute for Kong. Despite him being a robot, he has a lot of personality, even though he has that continuous smile. In the little film for the Godzilla Fest, you could see Jet Jaguar's expressions through his body, through like his head turns and his body language. And I think if done right, you could bring Jet Jaguar in, and he could be a substitute. He could be at first a sparring of like a temporary rival for Godzilla, but then Godzilla grows kind of curious. He's never seen a robot like this, and maybe they become kind of like friends, and maybe Jet Jaguar can act as a balance. Like, he sees both the good and the bad on both sides, both Titans and humans. So he tries to act as a balance where he sees the good and bad in the monsters, but he sees the good and the bad in the humans. So he knows both sides are kind of innocent and guilty. And he could become Godzilla's friend and, and of course, give him the iconic thumbs up. Yeah, you could, if Toho or Legendary sees this, bring in Jet Jaguar. Bring him in. You know, let him be a substitute for Kong and give Kong a bit of a break. And then maybe a couple movies later or a TV show later, you could actually have Kong return and give him another solo movie, and then have him appear and destroy all monsters. Yeah, you could do that. If you want to, if you can, you know, because I get it. Toho has made a lot of these creatures: Godzilla, Jet Jaguar, King Ghidorah, Rodan, Anguirus, etc. Yeah, so I get it. It all started with them, these guys. So I get it. You're gonna have to ask Toho, and I know it does cost a lot to bring in a kaiju, so from their studio. I get it. But hey, if you ever want a King Kong substitute, bring in Jet Jaguar. That would please a lot of fans. Also, I get it, you know, but still, I understand completely. We want a Godzilla 3. I get it. But that's probably how Godzilla 3 could work, is if you bring Jaguar in. Because he is a humanoid, even though he is a robot, he is still humanoid in shape and design. He's just a robot. So, I don't understand the Kong hate. Can we just appreciate that for 2026 and 2027, we are going to be feasting good with kaiju content? For goodness sake, just last night, we got a poster for Godzilla -1. I mean, -0. Sorry. You know, -0. And it's simple, but effective. And a lot of people are speculating, could the light mean Mothra? Could the smoke mean Hedorah? And of course, we see like little hints of blue hinting, of course, Godzilla. Now, my guess is, since this is Mothra's 65th anniversary, it could be Mothra. It just might be. The smoke and everything, maybe it's Hedorah. Maybe. But, wouldn't it be something? And this may happen, this may not. I'm not trying to get too excited or my expectations too high. But either way, if it's like a -0 version of Mothra versus Godzilla, that's cool. I would love that. I wouldn't mind that. But if it's like a -0 version of Godzilla vs. Hedorah, that's really cool too. But what if it's a different version of GMK? Like you got Godzilla, but you got also Mothra and Hedorah. Think about that. That is a combination we have not seen in any of the movies. Like, we've never had... usually we've had, like, Anguirus, Godzilla fighting against Gigan and King Ghidorah. And we've had, like, of course, Ghidorah three-headed monster where Mothra, Rodan, and Godzilla fight Ghidorah. You know? But we've never had a movie where it's Mothra, Godzilla, and Rodan. I mean, Godzilla, Mothra, and Hedorah. Jeez, I'm sorry. I tend to get mixed up when I get excited for Godzilla movies. My apologies. But think about it. If, let's just say, hypothetically, this is where they're going, where this is like Godzilla fighting Mothra and also Hedorah. Think about it. Godzilla is the embodiment of nature's wrath, while Mothra is the embodiment of nature's benevolence and mercy. And Hedorah is the embodiment of ruin. It doesn't care about benevolence. It doesn't care about wrath. It is just ruin. It is just pollution. Disgusting ruin. And the one thing, if this is the case, I don't want them teaming up. I don't want these monsters teaming up. I don't want Godzilla and Mothra teaming up. I want it to where they're their own character and they're not friends. They're like, you know, they're doing each their own thing, but Mothra is like the one trying to be the benevolent one and stop the force of ruin and nature's wrath from ruining Earth. You know, that would be kind of cool if that's the case. But I'm not getting my hopes up. It's probably either Mothra or Hedorah or someone completely new. We don't know yet. We don't know when we'll be getting a trailer. I'm hoping soon, but probably maybe early spring. I don't know. But I'll say this. Godzilla is coming out swinging in 2026. He'd even make Rocky Balboa proud. I could see Rocky Balboa looking up at him going, "You swing pretty good, you know?" I could actually see Rocky Balboa saying that to Godzilla, and Godzilla going, "You're damn right." I could see that. But yeah, we're going to be eating good for 2026 and 2027 when it comes to kaiju content. So, can we just stop with the hate and the resentment and just appreciate and be grateful we're getting a bunch of stuff from both Toho and the Monsterverse, and on top of that, we're getting that Lee Shaw series where we're probably going to see Godzilla, probably. We don't know, but come on, we're going to be eating good. Whether it's King Kong, Godzilla, whether it's Monsterverse or Toho, we're going to be eating good, guys. Can we stop with the hate and just appreciate for what we're getting? Please? Look, I'm not trying to be a downer. I get it, okay? But let's just enjoy ourselves. Well, I guess that's all for today. I will make another video soon. I hope you all have a good day. It's where I'm at, it's raining, so if it's raining in your area, please try and stay dry, you know what I mean? So, until then, I am Draco Prime 220, signing off. See you later.